Let's welcome back James Melville to the show. Now, James, I must admit, and I might be about to make myself deeply unpopular right now. And I don't know, look, I'm not old enough to understand pensions or winter fuel payments or so on and so forth. But it seems to me that what the Labour government have done, and I don't know where the threshold is set, but they've just sort of made the winter fuel help a means-tested thing. And the Conservatives are running around scrambling, sort of going, no, 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 everyone should get it, when actually it's kind of almost like a flip reverse. Normally it's the Conservatives who say we should be very careful about who gets welfare and how much the state is paying to support people who might not need it, and then and it's the Labour Party cutting the welfare and the Conservatives scrambling to attack them on it. It's almost like, you know, a sort of weird flip reverse.
Yeah, politics is inverted. It always happens like this. But then I remember Starmer standing up in the House of Commons and doing numerous interviews that he was going to be the custodian and the champion of pensioners and, you know, make sure that winter fuel payments are part of all of that. They went back on their promise, and it was a big one, because Labour have been spending the last 14 years, in a lot of cases quite rightly, campaigning against austerity. What they're doing now is austerity, and one of the worst forms of it. It's punishment against millions of elderly. And some are saying on the Starmer side, yeah, but, you know, there's a lot of wastage there and some of the wealthy pensioners don't need it. That's not true. I mean, I've read some articles whereby over 2 million pensioners losing that allowance is the difference between almost eating and heating.
Right.
You know, not everyone's within their threshold.
Yeah.
And it's a nefarious policy by the Labour government. They're trying to roll back a bit and muddy the waters and so on. But ultimately, what they have done is a politics of cruelty against millions of pensioners.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, I think
a lot of people feel betrayed. I think Labour...
I was going to say that when you look into this, it seems like 11.4 million pensioners were entitled to the winter fuel allowance, and now 10 million aren't. So that is actually a vast majority of pensioners. You know, like I said, I'm not familiar with this world. I don't sort of understand how it all works and how it's going to be means tested and where the thresholds lie. But it is like a strange flip reverse. I mean, like you said, so Keir Starmer said, I'm going to defend pensioners, and now it seems like he's backpedaling and trying to save himself by launching this pension credit scheme. Is it launched, or did it already exist? I don't know. But then Sir Steve Webb, who is a Liberal Democrat pensions minister in the coalition government, said that if 1 in 4 eligible pensioners were to put in a claim, so even if a quarter of people who are entitled to it, a third of the Treasurer's expected savings could be wiped out.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of austerity, but without, you know, doing anything in terms of the balance of payments or anything like that. It's ridiculous, and it's just alienated a lot of voters. The other tragic irony of this is the fact, while millions of pensions are going to lose their winter fuel allowance, we, the taxpayer, are still paying our MPs their heating costs on their second homes.
I read a hilarious tweet. I read a hilarious tweet earlier that in the last quarter or something, or I can't remember what, but Ed Miliband, who is, of course, the energy minister, has claimed well over £1,000 for his energy, and someone had put online, what's he doing, running a cannabis farm?
But this is the thing. It's like, again, it's a reason why people have switched off on politics, because they're telling that we've got to do this and tighten our belts, and there's a black hole of 20 million, and meanwhile you're getting train drivers who are already on huge salaries getting potential big pay rises, MPs getting pay rises, MPs still getting their energy costs paid for by the taxpayer, and meanwhile we're facing the biggest tax burden since 1948, and no wonder punters around the country are going, this isn't working for us. No matter what government it is, it's the same problems over and over again. They come up with a set of pledges and promises before the election, and as soon as they get in power, they seem to enjoy the trappings of power, which include patronising and telling us plebs, how to behave. And meanwhile, they're being inconsistent with their policies based on their pledges, and they're punishing communities of people. People have had enough. And already people have, I think, had enough of this government, because, you know, when a new government comes in, there should be an aspect of the sort of 100-day honeymoon, the politics of hope. But unfortunately, what we're getting here with this government, a few weeks in, is the politics of misery.
Yeah. Do you know, it's amazing that the sort of massive plummeting of their popularity actually makes Liz Truss look like she had a really good innings for a while there. James, don't go anywhere. We're going to be joining you again after this break, because I'll tell you what, we really do need to talk about the sort of things that are happening on social media that aren't resulting in people being put in clink. I'm talking about the mad stuff that you can buy online. Like I said earlier, Samara and I, my producer, sat there and like, let's have a look, shall we? Went on Instagram, typed in a few words, and I don't really know how to use social media, okay? I'm kind of that age. I'm analog Alex. I kind of thank my lucky stars that actually social media didn't really come in until I was a fully formed adult human, and so I wasn't caught up in its web of misery and went mental. That's why I seem to have my common sense and my faculties still somehow relatively secure. But so, you know, even me with my bumbling idiocy, who doesn't know the street slang and barely knows how to use things like Instagram, managed to, in 5 minutes, find sites where I could buy a zombie knife, a load of drugs and a balaclava. So there you go. If I lose my job here, at least I can become a career criminal.